It's believed that chickens were first domesticated around 7000 BC, and people have been talking about them ever since. Here's one woman's story about participating in life with these backyard modern-day dinosaurs. Here's Christina Green.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm ready. In 2005, North Carolina State University professor Mary Schweitzer found 68 million-year-old soft tissue in a T-Rex fossil. She was able to sequence the DNA from the dinosaur's collagen proteins. And guess what living creature's DNA the dinosaurs most closely resembled? The chicken. This is miniature Christina, meeting a hen at a petting zoo. Having chickens was a long-time dream of mine, and pretty much anyone who knows me for very long will have heard a story or two about my pet chickens. It's my go-to conversation starter. Friends have started bringing me chicken figurines from their far-off vacations. My journey into chicken farmerdom began in earnest 8 years ago when I moved back into my parents' house after college, and they graciously agreed to let me raise poultry in their backyard. I ordered my babies from the feed-in seed downtown. My first 3 pullets were a breed of South American descent, so I gave them Spanish names: Esperanza, Manuela, and Inez. The chickens first lived in a rabbit hutch in the corner of the dining room, to the great interest of the house cat, until spring temperatures warmed enough and they went out for their first romp in the grass. They went everywhere together. I wasn't there when they hatched to teach them everything a hen needs to know, but even as little babies, chickens instinctively know so much. What plants to eat and how much in order to maintain a balanced diet. How to preen using the oil gland near their tails, which I didn't even know was there. That a thorough bath in the dust will keep down mites or fleas, and that the shadow of a hawk means they should take shelter. Adolescence was a little awkward. Their feathers got pokey, their feet looked hugely disproportionate to their bodies, and sometimes their voices cracked. Esperanza and Manuela looked a lot alike, but Inez was a shining white, you can see in the middle. One day, going out to feed them their breakfast, I was startled by a loud cry from Inez. She sounded exactly like a rooster. We were in denial for a while. Sometimes the dominant hen will crow, said the internet. Coloring can vary from bird to bird, said the chicken books. And finally, when Inez looked like this, we could no longer deny the facts. Inez became Ignacio, Nacho for short. Unfortunately, you can't keep roosters in the city, so eventually he went to live at the zoo. Esperanza was the most sociable of all my birds. She loved people and gave new meaning to the term free range. She'd take field trips to the neighbors or come to visit if she heard us on the porch. One recent study said that chickens can recognize up to 25 different faces. She knew us for sure. Esperanza became ill the summer she was 2 years old and eventually died. Chickens are social creatures, so with Esperanza and Nacho gone, this made for one lonely Manuela. She would practically climb up in your lap to be petted when you went into the backyard. We decided we needed to get her some company. Midwest Feed was closed by this time, but a family selling fresh eggs at the farmer's market agreed to sell me some young pullets. We drove out there and brought home the new birds. These were hippie country girls, so they got flower names: Nigella, Rosalita, and Dahlia. One common question I get when people learn I have chickens is, do you get eggs? This is me, with the first egg I received from the girls on February 1st, 2009. I'm so proud, I look like I might have laid it myself. Americanas lay the most beautiful light green eggs. We don't have to dye them on Easter. Dahlia is probably my most dependable layer. In fact, she is the chickeniest chicken I have ever met. She's there in the back with the white tail. Dahlia's out of bed before anyone else and can outrun anybody to catch a flying insect. She also started becoming broody. Her hormones would overcome her till her only goal in life was to become a chicken mama. I'd warn her, these eggs aren't fertilized. Nothing will come of your efforts. But she'd sit stubbornly in the nesting box and make angry pterodactyl noises when I came to steal her eggs. I'd force her to come out and eat and drink once I learned that some hens will die just sitting there on the nesting box. So locked out, she'd sulk and get round things out of the compost pile to sit on. An avocado pit, the end of an onion. She's also famous for hiding her eggs where she thinks I won't find them. I picked eggs out of the cucumber vine for several weeks last summer. Besides eggs, my chickens provide nitrogen-rich fertilizer. As you can see, they'll even disperse this in the garden for you. And they keep down pests. When I'm weeding, they'll hilariously come and scratch the same spot with their dinosaur-like claws. In exchange for these useful services, they might help themselves to a garden tomato or two. The vast majority of egg-laying hens in the U.S. are confined in battery cages. On average, each caged hen is allowed less space than the area of a single sheet of notebook paper in which to live her entire life. Unable to even spread their wings, caged hens are among the most intensively confined animals in agribusiness. I do think my chickens enjoy a healthier life, and I get to enjoy knowing them as individuals. The breeds I have are mild in temperament, intelligent, and curious. The Americanas also have charming, fluffy beards, as you can see in this picture. Whenever I step out the door to say hello, they come streaming across the yard to see me, like I'm some kind of rock star. So that's really good for my self-esteem. I'm also sometimes asked if chickens can fly. We used to have a bird feeder in this tree, and one day looked out to see more than just finches had come to roost there. I have to say, there is something uniquely delightful about sitting at the dining room table and being able to watch happy chickens stroll by. The girls are pretty low maintenance. If we get a lot of snow, we'll shovel a path for them to come out. The breeds I selected are also pretty cold hardy, so in the winter, we just make sure their house is insulated and they have a non-frozen source of water. On really hot days in the summer, they hang out in the shade and cool their feet in a little wading pool created by the hose. In case you're wondering, the guidelines for keeping chickens in town can be found on the City of Hutchinson website, under zoning, on page 253 of the City Code. And a catalog search here at the Hutchinson Public Library for book format with the keyword chickens will net you 269 results. Everything from storybooks to how to build a coop and choose a breed to chicken health care. I love birds of all kinds. Having chickens has allowed me the privilege of sharing close quarters with a bird and getting to learn from them and enjoy their personalities, while still feeling like they get to have a natural, wild life. I mean, who wouldn't want a pet dinosaur and your own personal Jurassic Park?